I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on the Global Book Network, we're unlocking the secrets of elite time management with a terrific book. It is called The Box's Time. It's written by a wonderful author, one of my favorite guests. His name is Dr. Raymond Costabile. He is a decorated U.S. Army colonel, a surgeon, and an academic leader. The doctor shares the bold, no-nonsense system that helped him run a battlefield hospital and lead major medical institutions with unmatched efficiency. This book is a game changer that offers a new mindset for mastering time and productivity, cutting through the chaos with military precision. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today. We thank the team at Atticus Publishing for helping us put him on TV today. We ask viewers like you to support authors like him by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing his amazing work. The links are below this interview. Doctor, thank you so much for joining me here today.
Oh, Logan, thanks for having me. This early in the morning, especially.
The earlier, the better. I'm sure you're an early riser. People who tend to be very time efficient are. Um, what was it about you that distinguished you from others when it came to a profession that's notorious for running late, the medical profession?
Um, Great question. I have always been on time in the 42 years that I've been a physician. And I'm sure everyone out there, including yourself, shares that if you have an 8 o'clock appointment, your doctor sees you at 8 o'clock, right? Probably not, probably never. But I have always been that way. My expectation was if my surgery was to start at 7 o'clock, I was there at 6:30, 6:20. If my clinic started at 8, I saw my clinic patient at 8. That's when I walked in the room. It's always been my expectation. And I saw my colleagues not doing that and patients complaining they were waiting half an hour, anything like that. And they said, how do you do that? How are you always on time? You have 45 minutes for lunch. Your nurses always go home on time. How do you do it? And I basically said, I don't know. I really don't know. I certainly was, a procrastinator in college and high school. I'm a reformed procrastinator now, but I thought I better kind of look inward and figured out why am I always on time? And that then they said, put this in writing and tell others how to do it because you deserve it. They deserve it as well.
Talk to us about the metaphor of the box and how it could change our view of time.
Well, that's the big issue that everyone has is they're not aware of the time around them, their constraints. And time is the ultimate limit. It's the ultimate limit to productivity. We live in a box of 24-hour days, 7-day weeks, 365-day years. And as long as we're on this planet, we can't change that. There's no thinking outside this box. We are stuck in it. We can't create more time. We can't buy more time. We are constrained by it. So we have to learn to live within that box. And most people have no idea that it's going to limit them, and they have to make the best of it.
Do you feel if we're aware of the limitations of time, we view it like a box, we will be more diligent in managing that time?
Yeah, I think that's the key. The two percenters who make every organization work realize that they're stuck in a box
Hmm.
and the limitations that they have. So they realize what's important in their box, what's not important in their box. They manage what's in there, what goes in, what goes out. And that's why they go home at 5 o'clock and their charts are all done. And everything works smoothly during the day. They figure it out. They realize they're in there. They manage it well.
A lot of people say, nobody's going to die if we don't do A, B, or C. But in your line of work, particularly when you were in the military and in the medical profession too, people could die if you're late. Tell us about how your military background shaped your view on time management.
It did everything. As I said, I'm a reformed procrastinator. I did plenty of all-nighters in college. I was writing papers at the last minute. Definitely not something that was ingrained in me. I went in the Army at 17 so I could get some money for college and medical school. And when I was a young lieutenant, I walked in 5 minutes late for a commander's briefing. And I said, sorry, sir, I'm late. And the lieutenant colonel said, no, Lieutenant, you're dead. And I thought, well, that's an interesting metaphor for being late. And he said, no, if you're late on the battlefield, you and your your soldiers could all be killed by, say, an incoming, friendly artillery barrage. And I thought, he's right. He's absolutely right. Being on time in certain settings is life or death. And that was an awakening for me. And I learned how to do it starting at a very young age, 17, 18.
Is part of time management being earlier or building in excess time? Like I always leave extra time in case there's traffic, in case, something's up with my car. I'd leave a little buffer of time. So if I'm due somewhere at 8 o'clock and it's a 45-minute commute, I'll leave myself, an hour, or an hour and 15. Do you do a similar thing? You leave a buffer of time?
Well, yeah. I mean, I learned in the Army that's better 3 hours early than 5 minutes late.
Yeah.
Learn that the hard way.
Yeah.
But you actually, if you do that too much, you're
Then you're
losing
wasting
time.
time, right?
You're wasting time, and that used to happen in the Army as well. If we were supposed to be somewhere at 0600, the squad sergeant would say, "Okay, let's be there at 5:30," and then to be sure, the lieutenant would say, "Well, let's be there at 5," and then the captain would say, "Well, let's be there at 4:30." So next thing you know, we lost an hour and a half of sleep time, which we really needed, and we lost an hour and a half of doing some other work. That's being aware of the time that you have. And that's also an example of how leaders need to be aware of the time that their employees have or that their coworkers have. They have to be aware of that, and they rarely are. That's pretty uncommon.
Exactly, exactly. Are you understanding of people who are late, or do you tend to be a little of a chip on your shoulder when somebody is late, considering you have so much respect for time?
Yeah, I'm a self-professed time fascist. I mean, in a good way. If I mean that's my nurses call me that. Um, yeah, if a patient is 10 minutes late for an appointment, I give them a lecture. They get the lecture. It's not a chip on my shoulder. What it is making sure they get good care. If they have a 15-minute follow-up appointment, they're 10 minutes late. That means I have 5 minutes to take care of them before the next plane lands on the runway, before the next patient comes in. So I give them a lecture about being on time the same way I would give a lecture if they didn't stop smoking, they didn't take care of their diabetes, they, didn't take their medications. I would give them the same lecture. And they're seldom late twice. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I do think if you respect time, you expect others to respect time, and it can be contagious. And like you said, your time is limited. You don't want to impact the next patient. So if your patient is late, the only thing you can really do is cut time from that patient. And now, you're not doing what you want to do or
Exactly.
as thoroughly as you might want to do it. Talk to us a little bit about the sand and water analogy and how it applies to real life scheduling.
Sure. I'm big in metaphors. I'm a surgeon, so I write with a crayon. They won't give me anything sharp other than a scalpel, so it's got to be really simple for me. And so if we imagine that we're stuck in this box, that's our limit. What goes in the box? What's in the box? Well, the first thing that goes in there is sand, and sand is the important stuff that we have to do. We have to sleep, we have to eat, we have physiologic processes, we have to exercise, we have to take care of our families. Sex is in there somewhere, I'm sure. All of that we have to do. Okay, I have to take care of my patients. Got to do that. So we don't want sand to come out of our box. When I was in combat and we would get 175 casualties at one time, we didn't sleep, couldn't sleep for a few days. And that was sand coming out of my box. You got to sleep. You got to do it. So sand is the first thing in there. It's very important. You got to monitor it. You got to take care of it. You don't want anybody to take it out. So that's in the bottom of the box, maybe fills a third, quarter of the box. The thing that you can take care of is the water that's in your box. This is the stuff that everybody pours in. Most importantly, you. This is, the kids going to lacrosse, ballet, scouts, painting classes. That's your kids putting water in your box. Told you I got a new puppy today, so my puppy is keeping me awake every 2 hours at night. That puppy is pouring water into my box. This is the stuff that can overflow and get you in trouble. The water. Your boss tells you to do this, your boss tells you to do that, your coworkers say you have to do that, your wife says do that. That might be sand if your wife says to do it, it's something you got to do. But that's what gets you in trouble. And if you don't monitor the water that's in your box, it overflows. It overflows through sluices at the top of the box. So everybody pours water in the top, but you can filter that. You can say, no, I don't want to do that. It's not something I have to do. That's the doing of a useless thing. So I'm not going to do it. So the water doesn't pour in the box. The other thing you can do, if somebody tells you you have to do something, is say, no, I really don't have to do that. So I'm going to let that out of my box. Now, that's how, as an individual, you can take care of the time that you have. But more importantly, that's what your leader should do. Your leader should look and say, we're inefficient. I mean, there's too much going in. I've got to take stuff away from them. And I tell you, leaders never do that. I mean, it's really rare that a leader does that. So again, sand, very important. That's stuff we have to have, sleeping, eating. Water, stuff that's not as important and that we can control.
Say I'm coming to you. You're a time doctor. I've got my little robe on. I'm sitting at the on the table waiting for you to walk in. You come in. I say, Doctor, I've got a confession to make to you. I'm chronically late. I was late even getting here today. How can I help? How can you help me? Where can I start to turn my life around? What would you say?
Wow, I have a hard enough time getting my patients to take I mean, they're good at taking their Viagra and Cialis, but, some of the other prostate medicines they're not so great at. But um, it's amazing. If you point this simple thing out, that you're limited, that I have 15 minutes to see you and I really want to take care of you. I want to devote that whole 15-minute follow-up visit to you so we can socialize for 2 or 3 minutes. I can listen to how you've been doing, maybe make some alterations. If we've got some surgery, I really want to talk to you about that surgery. I want to spend the whole 15 minutes doing that. But if you don't come on time, I can't do that. And if you come late and I only see you 5 minutes, you're not going to be happy with that. And I'm not going to be happy with it either. And if I go over, as you pointed out before, then all those people who came in on time after you are going to wait. And the nurses are going to be late. We're not going to have lunch. And it's amazing how people understand that. And as I said, they rarely come late twice. It's sort of an awakening that they realize that they're limited, that what they do with time rolls downhill. And there's a domino effect with it.
Exactly. It all rolls downhill eventually. That was a great prescription. And the prescription is in this book. It is called The Box in Time. The Box is Time, a powerful guide to transforming your relationship with time and taking back control of your life. Doctor, thank you so much for joining us here today.
You are very welcome, Logan. Have a great day.
I appreciate your insight. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford for the Global Book Network. So long for now.